Hey everybody, BTO Pro here. Today I'm going to give you a sneak peek at what's coming with Merlin. Yeah, Merlin. Yeah, like the wizard. Yep, it's that corny. All right, so since we're building a video game, might as well keep it going in video game land and RPG characters. All right, so I'm in a site and I found my keyboard, my beautiful glowing keyboard. I hit Alt and Shift. I can summon Merlin from anywhere. But Merlin is aware of the context of what I'm doing. So if I hit Alt Shift, welcome to Merlin. Merlin is a knockoff of Alfred app. If you've ever used it on OS X, think of Finder, Spotlight, Windows Key, whatever your word is. An alternate UI that is direct access to the file system-y way of navigating things. So we're starting to treat HAX more like an operating system. You happen to have a GUI and you can go to things, but if we make a truly stateful system out of these hundreds and thousands of components, then we can orchestrate them and remix them to do whatever we want, however you need to get to them. So, for example, if I needed to search for content in the site, let's say I'm going to look for things about open source, I can push down to get out of that menu, or I can tab, right? I can do this all entirely keyboard navigation, right? Or if there's only one result and I hit enter, it's going to execute the thing in question. Now, in this case, it goes to the link. So if I open this again and I say I've got toggle, right? I can go to toggle. Now, whatever the first thing is, and you see there's 34 commands right now. And if I filter, like if I do prev or page, it's giving me things that have page anywhere in the tagging structure. For example, if I type the word navigation, these things relate to navigation based on tags. So we can use tags. We're working on this path, almost like a folder path for the operating system. And then also the label in question, right? So there's a page called About the Joker. But if you start to connect, well, I can search for things via navigation, or I can search for things via CMS/navigation /page / there's other operations, right? So kind of this like folder tree, if you will. So I can do previous page, I'll take me to previous page. If I just hit enter, it's going to give me whatever the first result is. So in this case, I can toggle that menu open because it just happens to be the first result. Now I said it's contextual. So right now I can type outline designer because I'm in a CMS context. We don't have a way of visualizing this just yet. But outline designer, equivalent of opening that tab up, right? So if I do edit, I can edit the page, puts it into an editing state. Now I've got Merlin is now on the UI. So what I was doing there is kind of like someone's going to have to discover that they can summon Merlin at any point in time. We're actually going to leave it on or make it available even if you're not logged in, so that you could, if you make the connection, you could call that up and log in. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to provide a button to do it in the UI normally, but it does mean we can expose more advanced functionality because you have grown in your usage of the system. So Merlin is here. Now I can summon Merlin again, but Merlin's commands have changed. So I can insert paragraphs, I can search, I can do anything that's on the UI. Some of these things are in a mixed context, right? So dark mode is actually a more CMS-based operation, but it's allowed to operate even when I'm in this HAX editing state. Now we do have to work on dark mode more, but that is the equivalent in the UI of opening this menu, right? So it actually did the toggle. In fact, if I leave this open and I say dark mode, I'm trying to just use a keyboard. There we go. Right, closes that menu, puts me in dark mode. You can see the toggle, right? So if I wanted to, I could just use Merlin to say, do a video and insert a video on the page. It's going to put it exactly where the current context is. Merlin is the all-powerful magician wizard trying to save us time and know what we're going to do in advance. Now, Merlin also has some hidden modes, some of which haven't been fully mapped out yet. One of those is if I put in a question mark, I can go into a question state. And if we're in a questioning mode, then we're going to be able to start putting help in an FAQs, tutorials, things like that into this interface. If I hit backspace, it removes that context. Now we haven't implemented the help context just yet. Another example, if I do shift and like a command prompt, right? I can start to embed developer commands in here. We're going to have developer commands like, oh, do you want to modify what the theme is right now? Now it's going to be temporary, but especially for people that know the system, perhaps you're presenting it to someone or you're having a conversation around something, you can start to dig into the guts of the system via this prompt. Think of it almost like console and just knowing what the command is. Let's drop out of that one. The more common one, the one that we will start deferring to, is slash commands. So if I type slash, it goes into a slash context, and that reveals, not entirely yet, but reveals the programs. So Merlin is able to run programs, and a program is defined as something that is going to use the Merlin user interface to present the results, but go do some other functionality. So for example, if I typed GIF, I get Jiffy that appears. And then if I select Jiffy, we are now running the Jiffy program. There's no results currently, but if I search for like a race car meme, I am now getting results from Jiffy. Now, if you have experience with HAX or seen any of the past videos I've done previously, I would click the media button over here. It would pull up some UI on the side that was just okay in design. I would have to understand that I'm searching for images, and then, oh, Jiffy's a media source, and then lots of clicks. You can eliminate clicking effectively with this methodology, and this program concept is going to be pretty game-changing for usability. Right, so now when I push down, I'm navigating through the things that came up from that. So I can dump a Simpsons meme into the page. Right, if I now needed to scroll, oh, I don't have scroll math. I thought I did. Need to put scroll in. If I needed to work in context, right? So that was that I had the slash command. I called it up, right? I could have gone to Merlin, but still I kind of have to go, oh, well, I could search YouTube. Oh, YouTube came up, but you see it's under a slash context. So technically YouTube is there, but it's more supposed to be accessed that way. Now, the other nice thing with this whole slash commands idea is if I hit media, I'm going to pre-populate Merlin as far as where I'm filtering to. So now we don't have a media tab anymore. When I hit media, it's dumping me into the operating system side of, well, what source do you want to get media from? Much more logical. Then I'm using the same usability pattern that I'm going to be learning over and over again as I keep doing these more advanced operations. So I could search NASA in context for moon landing and have results associated with the moon landing and the Apollo 11. And now I've got that in question or in place as a media image web component, because we're not writing just random arbitrary tags. This isn't a WordPress-based system, even though it does drop in and work in WordPress. It's a media image web component. And we've just taken that API data, used the program in Merlin, and stitched it together. So I can still save and do all the different operations in this like I wanted before. The last part of this that I wanted to show quickly is typing a bunch of stuff. Oh, you know what? Right there, I wanted, what was it? A placeholder. That's what it was. And if I do a slash command here, now we have Merlin in context. And I can type placeholder and insert a placeholder. Pretty awesome. If I'm here and I haven't learned that I can do that keyword command because I haven't watched this video or whatever way we're going to communicate that, and I go, oh, the wizard hat. Oh, okay, summon Merlin, and it summons Merlin in context, right? And I can use the programs here as well. I could search Wikipedia, and now I want a Wikipedia article that's about the moon landing, and it's in context. And I can still do the other parts of, you know, what HAX has always had as far as drag and drop, move these things around. I can put that paragraph there, but I can summon Merlin into this thing that's in a grid at that exact point in time. This is getting stinking awesome, I'm not gonna lie. Hey, the RPG character. All right. Looking forward to the next release. this is definitely going to be in there. Still got some more enhancements and work to do. One of my favorite aspects of this is if you have no results, well, it doesn't do it there. Sorry, it only does it in the large mode. So I have to clean her up a little bit on the edge case. Oh, I could do a feature request right from here and pre-populate all the data about what I'm using at that exact moment. It makes a user report so we can streamline people's contributions back to the project. Or let's say they're using this, call up Merlin, and I get stuck. I'm like, you know what I really want is slash, and we need to just search Google. Oh, they don't have support for Google. Oh, you know what? I'm going to make a suggestion. What do you want Merlin to do? And it says the exact place I was, the command that I had written at that time, and what do I want Merlin to do? We really should support in context Google searching. I don't think that's a thing, although DuckDuckGo is, because I wrote it for something else. So we could put DuckDuckGo results directly in line, and then you could link to them that way. So look for this in the next release. This is the thing powering all of this is called Super Daemon. As far as what Merlin is, the tag under the hood. Still some cleanup to do, but the team is doing a phenomenal job at just indexing, categorizing, grouping these things in a much more logical way. And then because we've got a more semantic tagging structure underneath, it was trivial to make Merlin after a few little usability patterns emerged.